I've got a question for you. How many people are still doing things the same way they did 40 years ago? How many things have changed? What I mean, 40 years ago, you wanted to know about something, you'd go to the encyclopedia if you had one. If you wanted to know a word, you'd look it up in the dictionary. If you wanted to know how to call somebody, you looked in the phone book. If you wanted to know how to get somewhere, you went and got a map. Nobody does that anymore. When I'm 68 years old, living out in the country, we didn't have a telephone or a television when I was born. They got electricity the year before they got me. Things keep changing, but there's one thing that's not changed. Maybe more than one, but one in particular, one I'm thinking about. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But when my daddy was born, little boy, although some of this stuff had been invented, he didn't see a car when he was a little boy. He didn't see an airplane. He certainly didn't see a rocket ship or use a telephone. Broadcast radio didn't exist, let alone television. When my great-grandpa was born, you could still own slaves if you had any money and had any use for them and weren't working as hard as they were just trying to keep starving to death. Before that, if you wanted to go somewhere, you had to walk or ride a horse because trains and airplanes and rocket ships didn't exist. Right now, you can walk through the finest museums in the world. You can do research just from your living room, bedroom, or computer room. But there's one thing that we've not changed. We're still doing schools the way we did, well, ever since Socrates, as far as that goes, but at least we've done it here in America the same way. We have a schoolroom, and, some of the technology's changed a little. You don't have lamplight, and you don't have slate boards, and blackboard is about being replaced, but the principle's still the same. You round everybody up and get them to school, whether you walk them or let them ride a horse or take them on a school bus. We have the possibility to completely revolutionize our education system. I'm not putting down teachers. I'm not putting down administrators. I'm putting down the system. It needs to be completely redone. We need to rethink the whole thing and do it over. Now, I'm not smart enough to figure out how to do that, but there are some people out there that are, and we need to do it. We need to quit building brick and mortar schools like we're stopping building brick and mortar shopping centers in a lot of cases. We need to quit hauling students to the school and take the school to the students. It's a big process and complicated and require a lot of planning. But in the long run, for the same amount of money, we ought to be getting a lot more bang for our bucks. I'd say universities are terrified by startups. Well, let's say this: University of Phoenix, whatever it was called, University of Arizona. They've come a long way, and their degrees are becoming more acceptable. And these big universities have been wasting money and thriving on these easy-to-get student loans that usually don't advance the lives of the people who owe for them. Well, in a lot of cases, they don't. They got to be terrified that sooner or later somebody's going to realize that we've been doing it the hard way, and there's no use to do it that way anymore. Just a few thoughts. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and I'm not pretending to know the answers. I'm just telling you there are answers, and they need to be looked at.